I am live. I am live. How is everybody today? I hope everybody's doing good. We're going to have a guest on. His name is Gary Orner. He is a breeder. He's been around for a long time. We're going to do an interview with him, and we will see what's going on. I hope you guys stay tuned for this one. There will be a link in the description of his channel. So that way, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'll put it in here right after the show's over so it can be in there. And that's what's going to be going on. So please, everybody, share this because this is going to be fun. Justin, Tanisha, hi, how are you guys doing? I'm going to go get Gary in here. TJ, I've got a gecko breeder coming on, TJ, in a couple minutes here. You're going to like him. He's very good at what he does. He's a very good breeder. It's going to be fun. Great video, by the way, Justin. Am I coming in clear? Can you see me okay? If not, I can adjust the light a little bit, but I hope I'm coming in good. Let me get Gary in here. Let me see if I can get him in here real quick. Tanisha, how are you doing? I had a pretty good day today. I hope all you guys have had a great day. It's been one of those days, though, a very long one. My back hurts, so I'm a little shaky right now. So other than that, I want to say not a bad day. Beautifully and sunny here. Beautiful and sunny. So we'll see what happens here. I hope he comes on. I hope he's still around. I'm sure he is. I just talked to him a little bit ago, so I'm sure this is going to be fun. I'm going to go tell a few people that we are live, as a matter of fact. Let me do it this way. This way it'll be much faster. Much, much faster to do it this way. Oh, whatever. Not working real well for me to do it this way, but I definitely will get it. There we go.
All right, I know you're live and I don't care.
Yes, my dear.
Can you take this rag? And can you wipe my ass?
Oh, you got that stuff on there, huh?
So I can sit in my chair. Oh, that sounds good. They're like, Andy's wiping her ass.
Sure.
You can't wipe your own ass.
No, I got it off your pants. There you go. There, it's off. Every bit of it.
Is it?
There you go. There you go.
Thank you for wiping my ass,
Oh, yeah.
Daddy.
You're welcome.
Are they all laughing?
Yeah, I think so. Viral video time. Yeah, it could be viral video time. So, what is everybody up to? I am going back to invite more people is what I got planned here.
All right, well, I'm going to sit down because now I got a fucking bleach headache. Pardon my French. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's fine,
Just
hon.
scrub that floor. We need to make a list.
What is that? Oh, what we need. I know.
Yeah. You know your mom's scrub brush that she uses in the room for.
Yeah.
I need to buy her a new one.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I was using it on the shower.
We'll write it down.
And I caught a big goop of that
Gunk.
Yeah. So I just threw it away. I'm not cleaning it. And then we need to get some type of a cheap putty knife because I know after I'm done using it,
It'll be no good. Yeah, I got you.
Unless you have one sitting around somewhere that is ruined that I can mess up even more.
Yeah, sure.
Because I need one to get all the gunk off the front of that shower.
All right, I got you. At least he was supposed to be in here, and I hope he shows up. Uh, Hold on 1 second. We'll see here. Wait a minute. Let me. Oh, there he is. Hello, Gary. How are you doing?
Hey. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can everybody else hear him out there? Sorry, it was a little bit late today. See, what happened was the wife woke up this morning and she decided she wanted to retile the bathroom, and the shower. So we had to rip everything apart. And that's what I've been doing all day.
Hey, that works. It doesn't bother me none. I'm up all the time anyway.
So, everyone, this is Gary. He's got a lot of experience with gecko breeding, and I believe you have worked with venomous reptiles. I was trying to watch some of your videos today because I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel. See, that's how much I paid attention, and I apologize for that.
I have like 7.
Oh, do you? That could be why I didn't even notice, huh?
I had a YouTube channel before it was cool to have a YouTube channel. Back in like 2008, I had like 90,000 subscribers or something like that. Then there was me, Al Caritz. Let's see. There was a few people had them, and then a lot of our things got broken into, and our accounts were deleted. And I just never, put back up my stuff. I just said, I'm done. I'm over it.
Yeah. No, but you did good if you had 90,000 subscribers. I mean, I'm having a hard time keep a little over 1,000. Your channel that I got now, that I'm going to put the link in the description, I think you have 5,000 or 5,600 or something like that. So that's a pretty good following.
When I put venomous stuff up from my old days, I get more views. Venomous is what drew. I'd put the boom slings up, the gaboon vipers up, the rattlesnakes up, stuff like that, and people fled to that. That was that thing.
Did you now with your venomous stuff, do you still have it now, or was that just something you did a while back? Or
no, when I got married, I got rid of all my venomous snakes. I donated some stuff down to the Kentucky Reptile Zoo. I gave some stuff to people in Michigan, and it wasn't for the reason of my family getting bit. It was if I was bit, what would happen? Because I had I probably had close to like 60 rattlesnakes and 20 or so different cobras, boom slings, and gaboon viper. I mean, tons of venomous snakes. And if I was bit, what would my family, my wife that never dealt with them before, do with them? So I took the steps and got rid of them. I haven't owned a venomous snake since, I would say, 2011.
Yeah. See, now my wife has a rule. She doesn't care what I do with reptiles or whatever, but she draws the line of venomous, and for the same reason. If I were to get bit or something, and God forbid something happened to me or something, she wouldn't know what to do with them. She wouldn't even be able to clean a cage, water them, nothing. She would go into panic mode, and then she says she would really be mad because I put her through that, So
yeah, that was my big key. I mean, some of my stuff back then. I mean, the boom slings back then. The anti venom was able to be gotten, but it was rare. And a gaboon viper bit a firefighter back in 2009, and he got AV and died. That was in Cincinnati. That was one of the last bites that I was involved in, that I was helping with. Another friend got bit out in Nevada, and I was helping with that.
No. What was the fireman bit by?
Gaboon viper in a stomach.
Oof. Yeah. Yep. See, now if I were to do it, I would only want to do local things like maybe rattlesnake or copperheads and things like that you can get anti-venom for, but you're still going to be you could run into trouble if you're allergic to it or anything. So
yeah, it was something that I did it totally wrong. I got in venomous totally wrong. I met Ray Gushaw and Joe down south, and they said, "Oh, you want venomous? Here's a Wagler's viper. Here's some pygmy rattlesnakes," and they sent me a box full of venomous snakes. I'm like, "Oh, cool!" And then it just grew from there. I think like I said, like my third or fourth venomous snake was boom slings. They're deadly, no AV known, and I had them. And I was stupid at the time. I was picking them up by mid body and just moving them. I was like, whatever.
What's scary about boom slangs is if they bite you, you'll think you're okay for about 3 days, and then you'll start bleeding from your eyes and your nose and your ears.
Oh yeah.
I think the first guy who got bit by one that they have records of here was in Chicago, I believe, at some kind of serpentarium there, and he was a doctor working with him, and I think he got bit. I can't remember what his name was, and
I
it took him
forget.
like 3 or 4 days to die, and then he realized, and he was documenting it the whole time. He was, because they used to think they were non-venomous,
Yeah, they thought to be harmless because it was rear fang, and
Yeah.
drop for drop, they're one of the most venomous snakes, if not the most venomous snake in Africa. They're reluctant to bite though. They're not afraid of anything. They shoot a lot. I mean, my big one, I have video. I have to get the video up again. I have video of me when I'm showing the gaboon and stuff, and I'm getting in. I just slide the glass door and I put the camera right in front of Boomsling's face. It does nothing. Al's got some younger ones that are a little flighty, but mine, I mean, it was wild caught, probably 7, 8 years old when I got it, and I had it for close to 8 years. It was used to me, and then I had some younger ones, and I was like, whatever. They were easy to me.
Yeah,
it was fun.
See, and the older they get, the more they calm down too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you have a hard time getting them to eat? Because I know they do like to eat lizards and things like that. Some people might have a hard time. I've never kept them. That's why I'm asking you. I don't know.
I used to, when I got my adults, no, they were already, Ray Gushaw and a friend of Joe's sent me my first pair. They were already on rat pinks and rat fuzzies. And then I got some young ones in, and they gave me some problems, but I had cobras, baby cobras, and I used to take their skin, no joke, and just wrap up the pinky in their shed skin, and they would eat them, and eventually I got them switched over.
Oh, that's something that they do with the black-headed pythons too, because they eat other reptiles, and they take sheds from other snakes and put them around the mouse, and then they eat it. That's a good idea. That actually works very well.
Yeah, it got them going, and boom sling's my favorite, and mangrove snakes. I did mangrove snakes, but they're not deadly. Not even, nothing. If I have pictures of me free handling them.
Yeah, but I think if they bit you, it would kind of hurt.
I was bit once. I got a scar on my arm. I had no effect other than the scar, and I think it's just because I jerked back, and it was this big 6-footer, and it just cut my arm more than it did anything else.
Yeah, that's like hognose snakes. People think that they're pretty harmless, but I have some. Al has this record of some real serious hognose snake bites from people. I mean, where their skin started falling off their arm and stuff. It's pretty nasty stuff sometimes. And I guess it's all on your body's ability to handle the little bit of toxins that it has or whatever.
You never know what you're going to react to. I mean, even if a monitor bites you just right and you're allergic to that. Because I got a 4-foot Nile monitor upstairs. He loves me. He'll come right up to me, but he darts at everybody else. He's weird.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your collection of stuff you do have right now then?
Oh, shoot. I got tons of leopard geckos. I don't know the count. I do bell albino more than anything. I'm a bell specialist. I do have some tremper and rainwater stuff. I got another line I'm working on I call Clouded. Nothing special. This is a darker gecko, but it looks like it has all the pattern, but it looks like it's clouded over. That's the best way I can explain it. Then I also got crested geckos. We do mantids here. I got ghost mantids, Chinese mantids, Carolina. I'm working on getting orchards going. We do all different types of roaches. I got leaf tails, geckos, but I haven't produced them yet. I got red-eye tree frogs. I got dart frogs. I have dart frogs right behind me, right there. It's just, I kind of dabble in everything. I got isopods. I got isopods over this side of the room. My office is full of dart frogs and isopods. But my main thing is leopard geckos. I switched from snakes, went to leopard geckos, and I never looked back. I mean, I used to breed the ball pythons and children pythons and Burmese pythons, reticulated, all that stuff. and geckos just kind of took hold. I mean, I'm pretty sure. No one's claimed spots. I was the first in the world to produce a super snow bellow albino white and yellow. I think I was like maybe the second to do the radar version. And I didn't name it anything special. I just was like, that's what it is. But leopard geckos are my specialty. And I'm trying to get into dart frogs now, pretty heavy, and the isopods because of Wally.
Yeah. Well, he sent me some too. It's just, but he's good. I like them. They're pretty cool. I think they're very interesting animals. My wife keeps saying, "Why do you have bugs?" I said, "They're not bugs. They're a crustacean."
That's
There's
it.
There's a difference.
And I lost some. I lost some isopods. Wally hooked me up with some powder blues and orange. I still have those, but I bought some other isopods, and the colonies just died on me.
I had that happen to a colony of mine too. Just one day I went down, they were dead. I was like, "Ooh."
And I just lost millipede today. I have a millipede collection, and I lost a millipede today, and I don't know why. I have a colony, so I got to figure that out. But like literally, I just found it maybe an hour ago. I was like, why?
Justin Ward has a question.
Yeah.
He wants to know if you were able to get one venomous snake. Now, if you were able to get one right now, what would it be?
Boomslings. It's my favorite species. I was one of the only ones in America working with them at the time, and I would do it in a heartbeat now. And I know where to get captive bred ones tomorrow.
How long ago was this that you used to do this?
My last venomous snake I got rid of was 2011. But from 2002 to 2011, I had venomous snakes. That was what I was known for. Those venomous snakes. And I mean, I had Mojaves, Westerns. I had Mojave Western crosses. And I didn't cross them. I didn't breed them. I just got them in my collection. Easterns. Let's see, Model Rocks. I mean, Buzztails were my thing for a while. Anything arboreal, Waggler Eye. I did anything that could kill me. I honestly, people laugh at me, but I like stuff that can kill me.
It's usually the stuff that usually can kill you is eye catching. It really is.
Yeah, cobras aren't my thing. I did cobras just because a friend of mine had cobras and they were giving it to me. When I would go to Hamburg, people would give me snakes. They were just, oh, here, Gary, have some new cobras. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I would just take them home. And I was like, cool. Al stopped me from getting taipans. I never owned taipans, but I had a pair from my buddy from Florida. He was up in Hamburg, and I had a pair of taipans in my hand. I was walking around with them, and Al's the one that says, Gary, you'll die. There's no AV in America for those. And I'm like, and I put them back.
He calls them, he's got a name for them too, like something just because of their attitude and how fast they are.
Yeah.
You know? He's pretty, I like Al's channel too. I love his stuff.
I've known Al for, since about 2003. I met Al. Because I used to own a forum. I used to own a really large forum. I used to own the reptileroom.org, and we were known for venomous. We had all the venomous keepers on that site, and I had a part of it called the War Room where there was no rules and you could talk about anybody and blah, blah, blah. But we were really known for the venomous community. Anyone that had a name for venomous was on my site.
Now, how do you feel about Facebook killing most of the forums? Because Facebook is so annoying right now. I can't stand it.
Well, that gives me an opportunity to talk a little bit about it. I hate Facebook. I love it and hate it at the same time. It does give me an opportunity to talk to people. But it's a double-edged sword. Everyone's an expert. I recently ponied up and bought the reptileroom.org domain again. Okay. It cost me a little bit of money, so I am in the making of bringing back that forum. It's just in the making. I work a full-time job, 60, 70 hours a week. Then the geckos and stuff take about 30 to 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But Facebook is so no one will listen. Like, I'll give you an example. Wally was talking to on a thread about UVA. And geckos needing UVA, or not needing, but would benefit from UVA.
Yes.
Now, I don't give my geckos UVA, and I'm sure he doesn't give all his geckos UVA because he keeps the geckos in racks. It's not a necessity. but they would benefit from it. And I agree with him on that point. And we were talking about it, and I said, I want to know how much UVA is blocked by screen, because it won't go through plastic, it won't go through glass. But our friend Ryan, part of Zilla, has plastic now that UVA can go through. But I said, screening will still block it. And we were having a conversation, and someone messaged me and says, they're arguing you. And I'm like, no, we're having a conversation. We're learning from each other.
Yeah, from each other. People...
And they were wanting us to fight. And I was like, oh, I'm done. We'll talk to Wally in the private.
Yeah. I call them keyboard warriors, like you did, was it a couple of weeks ago? You're like, boy, they're keyboard warriors.
Exactly.
When you get this up and running again, send me the link, please, because I would love to join the forums. I like forums much better than Facebook.
I actually tried to buy Fauna Classifieds. I know Rich really well. Yeah, I've known Rich for a long, long time. And he basically told me how it was when Fauna stops making him money or it doesn't pay for itself, he's just going to let it go and let it die. That he knows the domain brings money, and what it's worth I wouldn't pay, and he knew I wouldn't pay it. Yeah. Because he does make money on it. He's still to this day. But the Fauna Classifieds did kill the BOI. The BOI is gone. So
yes. Which the only problem I had with the BOI is they could pick somebody up, like somebody could say something bad about somebody, and then in the defense of the person that they're saying something bad about, they could prove it that it really didn't happen that way, but people jump on it and they just love the turmoil anyway.
Yeah, I was part of that back in the day. I'm the only one to call out Rich on the BOI. That's how I became known. I called Rich out himself on the BOI.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but it was for a reason though. And me and him are friends. We talk to this
day. That's good. That's the way people need to be. You have your little beef and you just be friends about it, because when we don't stick together, that's when we have trouble in this community.
Well, I had TRR and I had the War Room, and I'm very, very against Venomoids. I'm very against it. And
I am too.
I'm huge. So there was a movement. There was a veterinarian in New York that was doing making Venomoids, and there was a person coming out. I had a lawsuit against the person that was going by the reptile room on King Snake. I won. He no longer can use my name. But anyways, I went to Rich and I wanted to get a free ad so people could sign a petition. He told me no. And I questioned his integrity. And people didn't know what to exactly do in the thread, because I was friends with a lot of moderators, and I was friends with Rich. And he pushed a button. I shouldn't have posted it, and I should have just went to him in private and talked to him. But that is how the war started, if you will, with TR and Fauna Classifieds, and how the Hell Forum on Fauna Classified was born. Because I am the originator of that type of forum. I brought the War Room into the world, should I say. The War Room is bad.
Well, that's fine, though. But for people just to go out and have a beef with somebody, this is what my problem was. They can have a beef with somebody because it's something they didn't get for the right price or something, and then they fabricate stuff, and then they start putting it on there, and it can go way out there. I mean, I could legitimately understand if somebody ripped you off or something, but over stupid stuff, they shouldn't.
It's such a hard thing, and that's what Rich has to deal with. I know his life's been threatened many, many times. I mean, over and over and over because of Fauna. When I used to go to Daytona every year, I used to talk to him every year. And then his final year, I believe, was 2010. He got out of reptiles and he sold off his collection. He went to Daytona, sold as much as he could. Then he sold a lot to Mark and Kim Bell. And I don't know who else got the rest of it, but Mark and Kim Bell bought a lot of it. He was done, but he still sticks around. He's still on Fauna. Every once in a while I pop in and say, "Hey, what's up, man?"
Yeah. Now with your, I was going to ask you something about your geckos there.
Yeah.
What are your favorite geckos? Like, do you like any of the geckos over the other geckos? Like between your leopard geckos and your crested geckos, or?
I like leaf tails. I like arboreals. But I'm not at the point where I'm breeding them yet. I'm struggling with that to produce. But leopard geckos are my base. It's easy. because I've done it. I tell everyone 6-year-old could breed leopard geckos.
Oh yeah, I think
but if I had dream geckos, I want Australian geckos, and I'm in the search for all the Australian geckos in America right now.
Yeah. Well, see, I say, leopard geckos are easy. You could teach anybody. I said to breed ball pythons too. I know there's ball python breeders, and you'll be a little upset at that, but you could teach a 5-year-old to do it if you pay attention and get it down.
Exactly.
But I've never bred nothing like that. But everything that I have had, I've never had a problem breeding. What I do is I do a lot of research on the areas they come from and the seasons when they breed, and I just sit down and just do it until I hone it in.
That's exactly what I do. I just look at what the area is. When I was doing mangroves, I bred mangroves. I just literally went to where they were at and mimicked the weather that day, the next day in my cages. That's what I did. And I produced.
I heard they take a long time to hatch, though.
Oh, geez. I thought the eggs were dead. I mean, I just kept checking them. I'm like, dude. And some of them were like 80, 90 days. And I kept telling my friends, he goes, if they're not rotten, just let it go. I'm like, all right. And then I think I had my first clutch. I think I had 12, but only 6 hatched. And the other ones eventually molded over. And I was like, oh, but I had 6. And out of them 6, I had 4 eat right away. And the other ones I was force feeding. And I sold them all off. Eventually, I should have kept some. And that pair never produced for me again. And I had to buy more to try to get. And I was importing them. I wasn't buying captive bred. There was no captive bred back then. I was importing them. I didn't save any of my 6. So it was a tough go around.
Have you ever, what's your opinion on, like, was it the lemon frost years ago that the gecko that was really a bad one?
Oh, I was in the bidding on that.
Oh, were you?
My brother was there, and we were bidding. I was at home. He was in Tinley, and he was like, "How much should we go on this?" And I was like, "I don't want to put more than $10,000." And I believe we went to 20 or 18. Yeah. And I was all excited about it. I mean, I contacted Sykes right afterwards. I said, I want babies. I want to be the first one. Tell me what it's going to cost, blah, blah, blah. And he contacted me when he produced some. But he was honest to me about what was happening. And I was like, whoa, wait, wait. And I waited, and it started to go bad. Mm-hmm. And now I won't touch lemon frost. I won't touch Enigma.
Enigma has a neurological disorder, right?
Oh, and
the lemon frost gets cancer. Am I correct?
Yeah, lemon frost get tumors. And it's not the ones on the outside you got to worry about. It's the one on the inside. John Scarborough of Gecko Boa has a really nice write-up on it. He did a lot of research and had a lot of things. He donated like his whole collection of them. I mean, he lost a lot of money to find out what was going on with them. Enigma, we didn't send it in. I was breeding Enigma. I hit a dreamsicle around the same time the dreamsicle was done by Albie. And I was going to call it the Dream. That's why I always tease people. I'm like, oh, it's called the Dream. It's a dreamsicle, whatever. But my first one, I have pictures of it. I have to find it and post them. Don't have front feet.
Oh.
And I was producing Enigmas. I was producing maybe 300 Enigmas, 400 Enigmas a year. And I was getting stuff without eyelids. I would say 1 out of 4 would have something wrong with them physically looking at them. And then the rest would spin. I won't mention names, but I know big breeders that would hand feed adults because they couldn't catch just to get babies.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know for a fact. And I mean, when I was coming up into the gecko world, I thought, oh, well, that's normal. We're putting them in a box anyway to get babies. And I know for a fact they were hand feeding them crickets. I won't feed geckos crickets. I don't do crickets.
No, crickets are bad news. I'm the same way. I bred geckos a long time ago, and then leopard geckos, and then I got back into them again, and then now I let a lot of it go. But here's my thing with the leopard geckos. When I started breeding leopard geckos, I was shocked when the first time I did it. Before I know it, I started out with like 50 geckos. Next thing I know, I had hundreds. I was like, whoa. I mean, just producing them, having hundreds. I was like, Unbelievable.
Yeah, I cut back this year. I'm not breeding 2/3 of my collection, and I'm going to hit 400 or 500 with ease. I was going to hit 15-ish this year, and with COVID-19, I said I'm not going to breed. I'm not breeding my cloudeds. I think I might have 2 female cloudeds going to go. Most of my rainwater stuff's not going to go. A lot of my bell went, and a lot of tremper went.
Now,
But
you don't have a hard time selling any of these? I never had a hard time selling none of mine. They usually went pretty easy.
I don't. I have a problem because I'm lazy and I don't put them up online. I don't put. I depend on shows. When I go to shows, and I don't mean to brag, but I'll sell $1,600, $2,000 of geckos. Every show I go to, even the small one in Green Bay, I would do $2,000 in geckos. And I would have levels. I would have $30 pet geckos. Them are retired breeders. It could be something that, like I sold off all my NDBE, my black eyes, because I don't agree with the females. They're not producing. I think something's wrong with them. Females don't ovulate. Well, most females. I think there's a breeder that just had one ovulate and lay eggs. But so I sold all them off. So I mean, I was selling $500 geckos for $30.
Yeah.
So I sell them out really quick. I'll take 50 of those geckos and I'll sell them at $30 a piece all day long. And then I'll have my tremper section, and I don't price. I never take anything to a show that's over usually $300, and I do pretty well. I got to get stuff online though. I do. Everyone keeps asking. I mean, I'm getting emails today about geckos and bell albino mostly because they know I do bell.
Tanisha wants to know what you would think would be a good gecko for an apartment.
You can do any of them. I mean, any of the smaller ones, leopard geckos. You can do crested geckos. If you don't mind to look into the care, some of the leaf tails, like a mossy is pretty easy to care for. You can do a lychee. Lychees take a little bit bigger cage, but they don't take as big a cage as people think. What other ones? You can go to the day geckos. There's so many different types of day geckos you can get that are pretty. If you want something to hold, though, I would say crested or leopard gecko. Mealy are really nice too. They're smaller though, but they're cute. But they're at the same time, some of them don't like being handled. So if you want that one, it's just going to sit there. Leopard gecko. Crested geckos can get there. I know Wally has some crested geckos that are just like they'll just sit there and won't move. I'm like, how? But leopard geckos, 20-gallon tank. Set them up with all the decorations you want.
And they usually thrive.
Yeah, some people say put them on tile. If you're going to feed on sand, if you're going to put them on sand, make sure that they are a sand mixture with soil. Make sure they have a feed dish and don't let them eat off that. That can cause some issues, but usually it won't.
The main problem with the sand was back in the day. I don't know if they do it because I've never kept it on it, but they used to use like crushed calcium, like crushed shells to make the sand, and then that's calcium, and then they would start licking it up and really compact themselves up,
Yep.
But I don't know if they do put that in it anymore.
What I tell people when they want to do sand is take a soil, mix it with it, or you go into a peat moss or something like that. If you want to do a natural cage, put a lot of rocks in there because geckos have rocks where they come from in rock caves. What they'll do in captivity, and in captivity they do the same thing in wild, is they'll find the tightest space they can fit into and jam themselves in there and won't come out for days. They'll sit there. And then they'll come out and they'll eat. And then they'll eat and do whatever else, and they'll jam themselves back in a little tight spot. Leopard geckos in the wild are totally different looking than what we have in captivity.
No, I know they are.
People are like, oh, that's ugly.
But they're kind of cool, though. They got their Afghan ones and all that, They're the same thing, right? Yeah, I never got into none of that stuff.
If they opened up where I could get some I would probably import some. But right now, I don't think it'd be the best time to do it. Try to even do it, even if you could. But I would love to get some wild blood because that is something else. You start seeing like geckos are selectively bred. So you see hypo in a lot of stuff because everyone at one time bred for hypo. So you'll have two animals that's not hypo. You bring them together, you get a hypo. And I just had to talk with someone on our page that hypo is orange. And I'm like, no, hypo is just a lack of dots, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And I'm like, it
yeah.
could be yellow, and
It just has less
yeah.
dots. Yeah,
And I was like, you're thinking of super hypo tangerine carrot tails, and I was like, oh, the books, like the book, the white and yellow. People are saying white and yellow is a line bred trait or a poly trait. I don't care what's in Tremper's book. I'll tell Tremper to his face. I've bred so many white and yellows as a dominant trait. It's dominant.
yeah,
What people are doing is they're saying this is a low expression white and yellow, and it's not a white and yellow. So when they breed it, it's not a white and yellow.
no,
So they think it's line bred out. It's either a white and yellow or it's not. There's no such thing as a low expression white and yellow. If you look at white and yellows that John Scarborough breeds, I breed, or Matt Baron bred from Sassaback back in the day. I don't think he does geckos anymore. You could tell them are white and yellow. But yeah, I mean, I'm the one that got JMG in the white and yellow. I gave him a Bell white and yellow male back in the day, back in 2013.
Now, how do you feel about? I don't want to mention any names, like
Yeah.
some of these breeders out there that have their own big facilities that are mainly snake breeders, but then they got into the leopard geckos and breed 5,000 and 6,000 a year, and the price is way down. I mean, does that bother you any?
It
Seeing
does.
these people like flood the market with it, kind of pushes the little guys out.
Yeah, I kind of know who you're talking about. I was friends with this person back in the day. He no longer talks to me. I actually went up to his facility and identified a lot of geckos, but I couldn't tell him hets. But I was identifying by visual, and I know where he got his geckos, so it helped me. My problem with it is not so much that he's flooding the market, but he's misidentifying animals. Especially white and yellow. I just talked to a friend that certain people, certain these larger breeders that aren't into geckos like the Johns and me and Matt back in the day and Wally. They're saying this is white and yellow or this is this and this is this, and it's not that. And they're selling them for $90. So then people look at it and say, well, this is a white and yellow or whatever, and then they breed it and they said this is a white and yellow, it's only worth $90. Why we're taking true blood, like a blood hypo. I just seen a blood hypo posted on Morph Market for $100, an adult male. I would never let a blood hypo out of my collection go for $100, an adult male with no heads. It wouldn't happen. So, I mean, I get it. I would never do that. I do produce wholesale animals. I sell to pet stores, but you're never going to see me put the cream of the crop in my wholesale animals. I get people that ask me all the time too, will you sell me this because go on Morph Market. You go on Morph Market and buy it, see what you get. I had a cough. I could turn off my mic.
Yeah, I can't turn mine off. So when I cough, I gotta turn.
But I mean, I can't tell people what to do. And it sucks. I learned a long time ago that I used to fight everything. I used to fight venomoids. I used to fight misidentifications. I used to fight this. And then I don't know if it just hit me one day or what. I just said, I'm just going to put out the information I have and let it go. Let it go from there.
That's the best thing you can do.
Like I left when I started breeding again, it was on a forum, not a forum, but a page on Facebook. And this kid says, you can't correct anyone when they put false information up. You can just say a suggestion and ask them if they want your opinion. If they don't want your opinion, you can't correct them. And people were misidentifying the animals left and right. I mean, I'm talking just geckos. I'm talking tons of animals. I'm like, what is going on? So I left, and that person got mad at me. I'm like, and I don't want to be part of that. It goes back to social media. So the person that I know we're with no names. Social media killed it.
Well, here's the thing with that too, and with the bigger breeder like that, putting out wrong things and misidentifying it. When you put out the right stuff, they're gonna be like, no, this guy's got more stuff than you. He knows more than you. And that's the way people think.
I deal with it. I used to deal with it, Kevin, because I was near one. I was near the bigger breeder. Now I'm one of the bigger breeders in Wisconsin. I mean, I don't know if anyone's producing more geckos in Wisconsin than me. I don't think so. I don't know. But I always tell people it's not. John Scarborough put it the best way. Is like when they don't focus on the quality of their gecko and they focus on the flair of them, the geckos are probably bad. The genetics, you're not going to know the genetics 100%. Go to someone that can speak genetics and speak about the gecko and let the gecko speak for itself. And I forget what radio show. Maybe it was one of the leopard gecko radio shows. There's so many now, but and that's what it is. And these breeders don't have one-on-one time with their animals. They just produce animals, and they don't know what's really going on anymore. And they're trusting other people to breed their animals. I never want to be that big, where I have other people choosing the pairs that go together and then identifying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If I can't tell you, like I can tell you generations back and all my geckos you bought, every gecko has an identification number. And the picture that you see, if I send you a picture, is a gecko you're going to get.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact the larger breeders don't do that. They have a stock photo. It's a challenge. It's a huge challenge.
Yeah. Sorry about that. My wife just said she thought she heard someone in the backyard. But is anybody there? Can you hold on 1 second? Can you talk to everybody? Yeah, you just talk to everybody for a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so I can continue on. The biggest issue with the people on Morph Market is that people think them are the only ones out there, and then they got smaller breeders like me. And when I'm not producing 6,000 geckos, I'm only producing 1,000 or 1,500. I know each and every gecko that I produce. I'll know the lineage. I know what I'm doing with it. I know what direction I'm going with it. I know what I put into it, the hets that are going into it, the line bred traits that are going into it. And the bigger people that do 6,000, when you buy just a Tremper albino off them, won't know what they're going after. They're just it's a Tremper albino for $30. Just take it. My Tremper albino you buy off me, I can tell you the father, the mother, the grandmother, the grandfather, the great-grandfather, the great-grandmother. Yes. I can take you all the way back. And it just matters. If you're looking for a pet gecko, you can go anywhere. If you're looking for something specific, you go to someone like me, John, Wally. There's so many Gecko Lab. There's so many great breeders out here.
Pumpkin Patch Exotic said when she gets back into Leo's, she might need help with the knowledge of what is compatible with what and things like that. So I'm sure she can contact you and you'd be more than happy to help.
I'm always ready to help. You don't even have to buy from me. I help people all the time. I just had a person just today, literally, I was at work helping her. She wanted an animal from me, but then she found another breeder, and then she started asking that breeder questions, and then she would ask me, and she goes, you both are saying the same thing. I have no clue what the other breeder was. I still don't. Yeah. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. So I said, I'll help you out. I never mind helping.
And that's the way, that's the way I am too. But I get, what gets me, like I remember when you were in the other day when I was talking to Wally, when people ask you something and then they do just the opposite of what you tell them to do. Totally opposite. Well, I got it from this guy over here, and this guy over here doesn't know nothing. He's only been doing it for a short little time, and I'm like, well, you do what you want. It's tough to give out information when people don't listen to you.
Yeah, it's bad. What I do is I just give the information, and if they go on and take someone else's information and they succeed, awesome. If they don't, they come back to me. I give them a second chance, but I never give people thirds.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm going to move on. I've given you the information. There you go. Leopard gecko breeding. I had someone just had a problem. They bought some very high-end geckos from me at the Green Bay show, and they took them home and they weren't eating anymore. And we dug into it, and I said, oh, they're too cool. You're keeping them around, 80, 82 degrees. Guess what? They're not going to eat as much. Bump that up to 90, 95 degrees. Boom, they're eating. She's happy as can be. She goes, the color's back. When geckos go into brumation, they dull out.
Of course.
And I don't brumate any of my geckos. Everyone's like, do you? Nope, I don't do that. I
never did either.
Yeah, and I get average, I would say 14 to 20 eggs per female.
That's actually very good.
Yeah, and I don't lose weight. I should have brought some geckos up here. My geckos, some of my Trempers lose weight. They'll go down. Their tails will go down. But a lot of my stuff will keep within 60%, 70% of their weight. And everyone's like, how do you do that? I feed heavy. As soon as I'm pulling eggs 3 to 4 times a day. I pull eggs before I go to work, when I get home, and before I go to bed. And I know the female that laid, and I put food in there right after they lay, every single time. And if they eat it, they eat it. They don't, they don't.
Now, do you think this with the COVID-19 and nobody having shows right now, they may not even have any shows over the summer. How do you think that that's going to affect the whole industry? Because I know they're going to open up the states again and let people do things, but as for mass things like that, they still might not let people get together for shows and stuff.
It's going to be a catch-22. We're going to have a lot of people that want to buy a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have breeders that's going to have a lot of stuff that want to sell a lot of stuff. So if the breeders sell cheap, that means it's going to kill the market later. And some people are like, well, it shouldn't be about the market, but it is, because think about what 1 gecko or 2 geckos, 3 geckos cost you. I have thousands, and it costs me money. My electric bill's $400 or $500 a month.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I mean, when I call up Rainbow and I'm spending $200-$300 here, $200-$300 here just to feed my collection. So the market does matter. To give you an example, I have it down to get a gecko from hatch to just the 1 gecko hatch to 15 gram sellable. It cost me about $7. And that does not count about the female and male I had to feed all year. So I probably have around $14 to $15 into that animal to get it at 15 grams.
Yeah, not including the incubation.
Yeah, and I try to tell people this. I'm like, it costs money to get it there, even though I bred it. And so I'll get people come up to me and say, I want a 10 lot for $15 a piece. I'm like, you're crazy. I do have them. I do have those, but they're retired breeders. Retired breeders are 4 or 5 years old. I don't breed geckos over 5 years old, unless they're male. Males can breed longer. Females, I don't. I know some people are going to call me crazy, but I believe that they shouldn't be in a box breeding for 20 years.
No.
I sell them off. I mean, I just sold at the Green Bay show a very nice gecko that I sell babies for $500, and I sold it for $30 because I wanted to have a good home.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be a catch-22 though. We gotta the market, the people going into the shows going to have to say, we're going to have to stick, maybe do some deals, and then the people that are buying is going to have to say, okay, we can't just buy everything right now either. It's going to be a big bomb. I honestly, I feel it's going to be a big bomb. Everyone's going to want to buy, everyone's going to want to sell, and in 3 months, there's going to be nothing.
Well, I know just the price of stuff has gone up too, because now, like king snakes, I used to be able to buy king snakes $20 and $30. Now, I mean, even the Mexican black king snakes, I was picking them up for $25. Now they're going for $250 a piece. I don't know what happened there with the king snakes. It just blew my mind. I was like, I don't know what happened.
In 2003 to 2008, I had a person that I was really good friends with. I still am. His name's Steve. He's in New Jersey. He used to breed all my colubrids. He used to produce around 700 colubrids a year. I used to buy them off him anywhere from $5 to $7 a piece.
Wow.
And I would get Mexican blacks, corn snakes, king snakes. And that's where Pro Herps is. If people don't know, I used to own professional herpiculture with my brother. That's where we used to get all our colubrids, because I wasn't going to set up colubrids. It was going to take space away from my ball pythons. And then I used to buy from Brian Barczyk back then. I used to buy colubrids from him, and I used to get, we no longer are on speaking terms over something really stupid. If you want to get into that, I'll talk about it. But I used to sell a lot. I used to flip a lot, and if anyone says that anyone that flips is bad,
flippers, you're a flipper.
Yeah, you're a flipper. The hobby was built on flipping. Everything was brought in, and people flip, and it went. Now I don't do that anymore because I produce a lot. But do
you produce a lot of colubrids?
I don't produce any colubrids right now.
Okay.
Nope, I don't produce any snakes at this moment. I don't produce any snakes. I have a boa downstairs that's named Victor. that I was at a rescue down south in Fond du Lac, and she gave him to me because she said she didn't want to have him at the rescue anymore. So I got Victor. That's my snake I have. But yeah, I mean, I used to flip everything from monitors. I used to bring in alligators. I was a bad person. I'm telling you, I'm totally different than I was. I don't sell alligators no more, nothing.
I'll be honest with you. I owned a pet store way back in the day. I ran a pet store, and it was same thing. I could go to, I don't know if you ever heard of Martin's Aquarium. Do you ever read the Lizard King, Martin's Aquarium in Pennsylvania in Jenkintown?
Yep.
Them were the people I hung with. Now, we would get, you'd buy a whole crate of stuff for $20 and then sell it all for $20 a piece in there just to get, constantly flipping. And if something died, back then it was like no big deal because it was like, oh, it died. I got all this. I'll make it up anyway,
Oh, people understand. I mean, Nile monitors were $4 a piece. The fan is $3 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how the hobby that you know today was built. A Lizard King is actually a really good book to read.
Yes, I know all them guys in there.
Yeah, that's what's funny. And just like the Tiger King on Netflix,
yep,
I know him.
So do I.
So I mean, it's just like they don't even tell you. And if anyone's ever watched, I haven't even watched it, except for the first episodes. They don't even tell you half, not even half of what truly goes on. Now, is Joe crazy? He's pretty crazy, but he did love his animals.
Oh yeah.
He's a crazy guy though.
But you see how they got him, right? They had to get him because he had to euthanize a couple of his animals, and because tigers are protected animals, that's how they got him.
But all them other people on there kill cats. I'll tell you this right now, they do too. My friend Ton Jones is big into big cats. If you guys know who Ton Jones is.
Yes, I do know Ton Jones.
My buddy. I
don't personally know Ton Jones, but I know somebody who does know him real well.
I met him in 2011 at the Tinley Park show. I think it was like 2011, 2012. I met him and we became friends. I think I posted recently, he bought a gorilla for like $4,000, a gorilla statue for Tinley to help, US Ark. And he has a picture of it. And I posted on this, do you still have this? And he goes, yes, I do. And, but he's into big cats. But I haven't asked him his opinion on what's going on. But he supports a sanctuary out in California. So
yeah, but I know, like we were just saying that, that's how the industry was built, was constantly flipping. I mean, that's what it was done. Yep. And then now everybody's like, you're a flipper. And the only reason they're a flipper, the only reason they have a problem with it is because they're selling it for cheaper than what they sell it for. And they think that somebody's going to go buy it from them.
But here's what I say about the flipper. If let's say I produce 1,500 geckos this year and I'm having trouble selling the geckos, I can go cheaper than the flipper because I produced it. So I could technically just put them on my table for cheaper yet. But instead, I'm going to sell them to a flipper, or I don't even want to call them flipper, to a jobber. I like calling them jobbers. And say, here's 200 geckos at this price, and I know they're going to have to sell them at a certain price to make money. So it's kind of helping the market a little bit. Instead of me just saying, "Oh, screw that," instead of selling it to you for $25 a gecko, I can put them on my table for $35 a gecko and put the genetics on them and sell every single one of them. I'd be shooting myself in the foot. I do get respect at shows. I do have vendors that buy off me, but they never buy off me and put my geckos on the table at the same show. I've never had that happen. So
I got a lot of slack once when I went there. I vended this show, and I had all these colubrids there, and the table next to me had a bunch of geckos and stuff. And they come up to me and they're like, "What? These crested geckos?" Because they know I've been in the hobby for a real long time. I got 35 years, and they're like, "What would you sell all these geckos for? How much would you mark them up?" I said, "You see that table over there that's got all the geckos?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "Go over there and look at the prices on them." He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Mark it $5 cheaper than him."
Yep. No, I have been known to do something else too. When I was with Professor Herpiculture, my brother John would tell you the same thing. I would walk into a show, and when I would have jungle carpet pythons on my table, and I used to produce jungle carpets, and we would have everything else. I mean, we'd have 4 tables full at these little shows, and someone else would have 16 carpet pythons on our table, and that's it. I go, you're going to go home early. How much for them all?
Yeah.
Just so I didn't have competition.
Yeah.
And I would just buy them all, put them under my table, and sell mine. That's what I did. And that was kind of the way where no arguments happen. The world today is different than it was 15 years ago for the reptile community.
Juan from Michigan Exotics says, when the government want to get you, when the government wants to get you, they will. Ask Gary from all the raids that go on at the Tyler show.
Oh, geez. Taylor, Michigan.
Taylor,
I know.
that's what I meant,
Taylor, Michigan. I know Mike very well. Mike and Shar, really good. I'll tell you guys this now. I never paid for tables there when I was part of it. But the raids happen a lot. How should I don't want to make anyone mad, because the people that I got their animals no longer in it. But venomous snakes all the venomous snakes, when the raids would happen, would go to me. They knew they were leaving the state, but people would have venomous snakes there. A raid would happen, and the venomous snake would go to me. There was a pet store in Detroit that had a gaboon. The main gaboon on my YouTube channel was once surrendered to me because it was caught and they were going to get in trouble. It was surrendered to me; they didn't get in trouble. I know some people at Taylor, Michigan show that's been raided 2 or 3 times. I don't want to mention his name because I've known him for years. He's not an enemy, he's not a friend, but I know the Kick Brothers when they've been raided how many times, but that's in Cleveland. It's a Cleveland show. I think they go to Taylor now. It just, and then you got other. It's so hard to talk bad because I don't like negativity, but there's vendors that would get import animals right off the plane and put them right on the table and throw dead ones right in a garbage can. I know this for a fact. I've seen it. I've seen it as recently as 5 years ago. And it's sad. It's sad to see when we're trying to build up this, hobby that sometimes it's just about money. If we just did it the right way, the government wouldn't be on us. I got in trouble by the government one time. And it was me shipping 2 ball pythons to New York, and I did not put the scientific name on the outside of the box. That was what happened to me. That was in 2001. I paid a $350 fine, and they got to keep my ball pythons.
They intercepted them in transit?
Yeah, because I put ball pythons on the invoice on the outside, and back in 2001, I misunderstood it. I thought as long as it was on the invoice slip, it was fine. It wasn't. It was ball python was visible from the outside, but python rigius wasn't. And I got a call from Kentucky. I don't know how it went to Kentucky, but it went to Kentucky to go to New York, Kentucky, and they called me and says, you're going to get a $350 fine, and we'll ship these animals back to you correctly if you want them, but it's going to be another $300. I was like, you can just keep the ball pythons. And I just sent another 2 ball pythons to my customer. But that was the only time I've ever been in trouble by the government.
I had a friend who took pictures of his boxes, and on the very bottom of the box, in very tiniest print you ever seen in the lightest pencil, was the actual scientific name of every animal that was in there. So when they would come to him and try to get him in trouble, he would say, take a picture of the bottom of the box, and then he would zoom in and say, there it is, right there. Boom. So I don't know if they changed the rule that it has to be a certain size, but he used to write it so tiny you couldn't even see it. But it was on there.
I just print it up. I use Ship My Reptiles still. I know there's other, but I use Ship My Reptiles. I just print up the thing off there and stick it on the box. It's just little things. The government will look for anything, and I'm talking anything to get you, because it's their job. Like right now, I couldn't own venomous snakes because I'm in the city of Green Bay, and I can't own venomous. But now if I move 5 miles west, I can have venomous again. So
now you live in the city of Green Bay, but yet you got a Browns pennant on the back wall.
I'm from Ohio, Toledo, Ohio. So I think I'm the only one in Green Bay that likes the Browns, but I don't get picked on too much. Funny story: Clay Matthews. I met him at a festival, and I had a Richardson jersey on, and he said, "Hey, you got the wrong jersey on in this town." I turned around and I said, "Your dad played for a real team," and because it's Clay Matthews' dad played for Cleveland.
Yeah.
so that's the only interaction I've ever had. I'm sure I met other stars from Green Bay, because Green Bay is a really small town.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the Packers, I mean, it wouldn't be on the map.
Now, talking about getting in trouble, you had that Martin's Aquarium there, and right down the street, 1 block down the corner, was this place called Jake's Snake House.
Oh,
and all of the venomous snakes. Now, he got closed down because some kids found a gaboon viper on the railroad tracks next to his building, and the only place it came from was in there.
Yep.
But they closed it. Did you ever hear of Jake's Snake House?
Yep, I've heard of Jake's Snake House. That's what people don't understand, is when you've been in the hobby as long as we have, you know, kind of everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
Like Tom Crutchfield, he's a friend of mine, and I'm one of them people that I'm friends with a lot of people, even if they don't get along. If I got 2 people that don't get along, and I'll still be friends. Like, I'll give you an example. I was friends with Brian Barczyk for years, guys. I mean, since I was 16 years old. And Al Koritz doesn't not like Brian Barczyk. But I was friends with both of them. The whole situation with Brian is he feels slighted by me because I called him out about holding a Venomoid on camera, and I'm very against Venomoids and free handling, and we don't talk because of that anymore.
Because I'm sorry, my wife was saying.
Oh, no worries.
It's only $50 more than what I just paid.
Did you want to order it and then send that one back? Take that one back?
What are we going to do for a shower in the meantime?
Screw that other head back on there.
Okay, what about the freaking nozzle you cut off?
Oh, never mind.
Hose.
Hose. He said a hose. I'm sorry, hon. Yeah, well.
That pisses me off.
I told you to ask somebody when we were there. We can go buy a cheap one for like $20, send that one back, and then get the $400 one or whatever it is.
Because it's chrome and white.
Yep. All right, do it.
Because the chrome and black.
One second.
Black
No worries.
is $308. The matte black is $358. The sport rustic brushed nickel is $299. But the chrome and white one, which is this one, because base is white, everything else is chrome, which it would look great in that shower. Chrome and white.
We'll take that other one back, and then you just order that one, and Yep. All right.
It's only friggin'
$50-$60 more.
$59 more.
All right, we'll take that one back tomorrow, and
I'll
then
pay the extra $59.
Yep.
I won't get my hair dyed.
Okay.
Everyone's just gotta look at me with gray hair.
You look fine. You look beautiful to me. So don't worry about it. But that's what we'll do. We'll take that one back. Just get a cheap $30 one until.
So when we go back, I will save this somehow.
Yep. Snap it.
And say, can you order this for me?
Yeah. Pay it. Yep. All right, that'll work.
Well, they'll even deliver it to the house.
Normal ivory?
All right.
Free.
Well, there you go.
Orange ivory.
Back tomorrow, and we'll have them order this one.
And we'll just get a cheap one. That's all. Yep.
Because if I'm going to pay $200 for a shower, I won't.
Shower head, yeah. You want the one you want. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I was showing ivory, millipede, mantis.
I forget what I was going to say.
Oh, we were talking. What? I don't know what we were talking. Oh, Brian,
Gay from Carpet Pythons in here. Gotta love Carpet Pythons. How are you doing? Did you see Troy did your saying the other day? Edward Tyndall, how are you? Does anybody have any questions for Gary? He's a gecko breeder. He's been around for a long, long time.
There's a mantis.
Oh, there we go. Some mantis. Yep.
These are. Do I got it written down? I think these are. Yeah, these are just Chinese. Yeah, we were talking about Brian Barczyk. I called him. Oh,
that's
out.
it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was holding a Venomoid gaboon viper, and I called him out in public, and he didn't like it. And I was wrong. I should have talked to him in private about it, because I've always been able to talk to Brian one-on-one about stuff that I didn't agree with, or he could come to me and stuff. But ever since then, we haven't talked at all. I haven't talked to him even a little bit. He got upset, and that was it. And that was back in like 2014.
Wow. Gotta love carpet pythons. You sent him in a saying to say for his morning motivational speaks, and he used yours the other day. I don't know if you went and saw it. He even mentioned you on there. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I understand that 100%. You know, people got to take a little bit of criticism with just like a grain of salt. You just, you know, people are going to criticize everybody and things that they do. You just got to learn to take it. And some people can't. I don't know. So what do you think of his whole setup now? Have you seen any of his stuff now, like his zoo that he's setting up and stuff like?
Just off of the videos he's done. I've never been up there. I don't even know if he'd let me in.
Oh,
I honestly don't. The other thing, I don't know if it was not, but like Al Caritz was offered, and so was I. Venom Hunters. I was offered Venom Hunters at one time.
Oh,
I turned it down.
Yeah.
I didn't want. I wanted all control over what was said, and their plan is saying that, you know, milking venomous snakes is gold. Talk to my buddy Jim Harrison. He does not make a ton of money milking venomous snakes.
Yeah.
Taking it back. She's like, well, because Home Depot does have the one I want. They don't have it in the store yet. I said, but I can have it mailed to the house and it be here by May 11th. And she goes, well, that's only like 2 weeks away. I said, exactly. I said, so I'm just going to buy a cheap shower head and a cheap nozzle.
To get us through, yeah.
To get us through. I said, and I'm getting the one I want because it's an extra $58 freaking dollars.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now with the it's not gold. There's no way it's gold. If it was gold, everybody would be doing it. Trust me when I tell you.
Yeah, Jim Harrison, I'll tell you right now, he produces more venom than I think anyone in America.
Yeah,
and
Jim,
he's not rich.
Nope. I like him. He's very cool, very down to earth. If you get to know him, he got off Facebook because he couldn't take people criticizing everything, which was stupid that people were even doing that. But he's a great guy.
Him and Kristen are good friends of mine.
Yeah, very good.
I love him to death. He's a bionic man, though. I mean, he's gone through more surgeries, and look, he's still fit as can be.
Oh, I know. I'm shocked at the guy, man. He's knees replaced, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he's like, I had knee surgery yesterday, but I'm going to run a mile today. I'm like, Jim, how are you doing this? Funny story. A friend of mine was bit by, I forget what species of snake it was, like at 2:30 in the morning, and he was out of state. And first person I called was Kristen, and I asked Kristen what could be done, and she walked us through it. It was 2:30 in the morning too.
Very good. They're good people.
Yeah, she's amazing and he's amazing. I got to get down there and do some video of their stuff. But I don't think I want to leave because I'll be able to play with all my venomous snakes again.
Did you? I just learned something the other day. I was going through some videos and I've learned that there's a place in Wisconsin that it's a big venom lab also.
Wisconsin, yeah. Right, Fond du Lac, I believe it is. Yeah.
I didn't know that was there. I snake discovery. I was happened to see one pop up on your side of my videos when I was watching videos, and I went and checked out. I'm like, I didn't know that place was there.
Yeah, my buddy Brandon with Roaming Reptiles is set up there now too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just posted on my Facebook page Brandon getting interviewed. The Venom Lab's there. I haven't been down there yet because I've been so busy, but I've known of them for a while, but I'm not friends with any of them on Facebook, but I'm sure they know who I am and I know who they are.
Yeah, I'm not friends with any of them either, but I'm friends with Kristen and I'm friends with Jim when he's on Facebook. He just avoids it, but yeah, no, they're really nice, outgoing people. They used to have a show on the Discovery Channel years ago, but they don't. Mm-hmm. They don't have it no more. I don't even see reruns of it. That was pretty good.
Yeah, they want full control like I would. They don't want the false information out there. So
no, I understand it.
So that's why I started Animal Treasure Films, and I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah.
And it's just when Venom Hunters, it was hard to turn down. They offered a lot of money, and I was like, wow, that'd be a game changer for me. But I would have been looked at really differently by all my venomous friends. So.
Yeah, because it's they just showboated it, tried to make jokes out of stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like Chewy. I know Chewy for years. He never dealt with venomous snakes, and the guy's got a heart of gold.
You notice there's only one season of that show, right?
Yeah, because it wasn't what it should have been.
No.
But yeah, that's why I don't like TV that much. They kind of lie to get the bang. My buddy Brandon said it. They'll use animals and fear of animals to get views.
They do it all the time on there.
And if I ever get to uploading my old stuff, you'll see me say this snake may bite me, and I'm sorry if it does. That's what I would tell people. And
Yeah,
I would have it in my hand in front of the camera like this, and I'm like, I'm sorry if it bites me. And everyone's, why do you say that? I'm like, because I don't want it to bite you. I don't want you guys to see that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how they like change stuff. And I'm always sitting there like if my mom, she's 80 years old, she'll flip on that stuff and she'll watch it. If I'm walking through and when she's watching it, I'll be like, that's a lie. Well, it's on there. I'm like, no, that's a lie. That's not true. But she's known I've done this for so long that she also knows when I say it's a lie, it's not true, you know.
Yeah, the TV's just there, and that's what I think kills some of my friends, the social media and the YouTube fame
Yeah.
and all this. And I understand you got to do certain things to get views, and
Yeah.
I would rather have, like I think Wally posted on there, he would rather have 100 quality watchers than a million people that take it as a joke. And I'm the same way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not about the views. I'm not about the people.
No.
I'm about the people, but I'm not about having followers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. I got my loyal ones that are on here right now, and they're on here every week, and that's all. I'll do this every week as long as they're on here. You know.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Let's have some fun.
So what were you saying? You did it. What TV are you doing now, or something like that?
I started a company about 3 years ago, Animal Treasure Films. You can go to animaltreasurefilms.com, and it's got some info up there. I'm a one-man crew. I'm filming wildlife, and I'm going to be the host. You might hear my voice, but I don't want to be on camera. And I'm going to start with Wisconsin. You get the wildlife. I can say this now. I'm pre-signed to Animal Planet for my video or film Gray. I'm going to try to follow a pack of wolves in Wisconsin. COVID-19 is kind of holding me back right now, but I'm going to follow it, and if it presents right, it will be aired on Animal Planet. And then the rest of my stuff is mine free to go. I'm going to be doing wildlife in your backyard and stuff like that. And I'm just going to go in people's backyards and say, hey, let's see what wildlife we can find in the backyard. It could be insects to isopods to worms to raccoons. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to show people wildlife like I see it. And hopefully we can change some people's views on it.
That sounds very interesting.
It's costing me some money, but I mean, I just bought a lens that cost me a lot of money. I just bought a 500 millimeter, and I'm like, oh. But yeah, that's my dream. If I know this sounds bad, but if it takes off, I would actually cut down on breeding geckos and just do wildlife filming. I would always keep geckos, but I would cut down drastically.
Yeah. It sounds like fun. That's something I've always wanted to do too. I've never had the right equipment to do it, but it's something I've always wanted to do is to go out and film wildlife and stuff.
Oh, I just dropped my moss. But like this, I purchased this, and it's going to be dusty because of my room. This here is a external monitor for my mirrorless camera. It has a Rode mic on it, so I can hook this up to a camera, set this on a tripod, and the camera can be somewhere else. I can control it with my phone, and I can see what they're seeing on this. I'm doing that purposely for the wolves, because I don't want to be so close to them. I'm trying to get the right equipment. I'm talking to a producer that produces on Animal Planet now, and she's telling me get the footage. We'll walk you through how to do it. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be the next Marty Stauffer?
No, I'm hoping. I'm honestly hoping that it's. I don't even want to do voiceover. Everyone says I got a radio voice. I don't even want to do voiceover. I just want the animals. I just want to do the animals and to show off the animals. And I have trouble. Everyone thinks I'm lazy, or I am sort of, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm like I don't want to do anything. But I have so much film, and I was just talking to Wally about it. It takes so much time to edit film. I probably have around 400 hours of film of geckos, and it just takes so long to edit it, to put together something nice. And I thought about doing geckos full time, and I thought about it with this COVID-19 thing, but I don't know if it's gonna be something we can do yet because I do have 2 kids and my wife, and I gotta take care of them. So.
Yeah, no, you're not like me. I just film stuff and throw it up. I don't edit much.
Oh, I try. I mean, it's got to be perfect and focus when I do a gecko.
Yeah.
I just put a poll on Orner Exotics Facebook page. Do you guys want live vlogs? Do you want edited vlogs, or do you guys just want me to do a written vlog? And we'll see where that goes. But everyone's saying video, and I'm like, okay.
Video is good. I prefer video because visual. I like seeing it visually and what you're talking about.
Yep.
But even if it's just voiceover, it's just I find that great. Like I like watching stuff like that. But I got a nice camera and all, but I just never use it. It's just sitting over in the corner over there. I mean, it's
pick it up, start shooting.
Yeah, I use my phone for everything. But if I do it with the camera, I would have to put it on the computer, and then I have to do a voiceover on it. So,
see, yeah, I have a T5, a T6, a D80, and I just bought a mirrorless M50. And the mirrorless is my go-to. I was thinking about buying the R9 or whatever, R5, but I didn't have the money for that, so I bought the little brother to it, the M50, that does 4K video. And I don't have my large. It's out on the table. I just purchased a 500 millimeter lens, and I got every lens in between. I wanted a 600 millimeter, but I don't got 12 grand to spend on.
No, lenses get expensive. I got I think it's a T6i or something like that.
That's a nice camera.
Yeah, and I got like 3 lenses with it, but I never go out and I use my phone.
Yeah, the phones today, like these things take 4K video.
I know. Well, that's mine's the Note 8. And it does fabulous video, but I got that over there. So I was thinking, well, if I do that, I can really.
What you'll notice is you can change your ISO, you can change your exposure on them, and so if you're in low light, you don't have much control over these. But with those, you do. You can get a fast lens with f-stop. F-stop is how much light is let in. You get a nice f-stop like 2. It shoots better in dark. And you can raise your ISO, but then if you raise your ISO too high, you start getting a fuzzy image. So you want a faster lens, and I mean, there's a lot to it. Once you get it, it's a puzzle. Once you get it, you get it. You get so much more control over the picture and the video.
So what kind of what kind of an editor would you use?
I use Cyberlink, and I use another one that I got with my camera that they gave a Corel Video Studio. I've been using Cyberlink Power Director since 2007.
Is that something you can download right to your computer?
Yeah, you can download it. I got, I think 18 now, is it? I think it's like $60 or $100. The thing I don't like about Cyberlink is that sometimes you want the pre-made intros where you just put your video in and it does all the fancy stuff. They have a download site, but it's not for everything. When I did Corel, however you pronounce the video, so they can do any raw file. So I started using that, but it don't have all the bells and whistles I like Power Director does. So, but every time you edit a video and you put it in Power Director, you're going to compress it more and you can lose quality. But I've been messing with the studio for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But it also, when I started to do a 2-hour film and I put 200 video clips in there, it's been freezing too. But I got it for free with my camera. So
now my question for you, now with like the Cyberlink, right?
Yeah.
Does that all get stored on your computer, or does that get stored on an off, like at their own place?
It goes right on the computer. I have my program right on my computer.
So if your computer crashed, you'd be kind of upset then.
No, well, all my videos are on an external hard drives like this. I have tons of these. And this is a 4 terabyte here. I have probably like 16 of these. I got a couple 8 terabyte. hard drives. But now my computer, my program, I have licenses, virtual licenses. So if this crashes, I can re-download it. I just log in a CyberLink. I need to re-download this, and I get it. Now, I'm a computer technician at heart. If people don't know, I used to own a computer shop in Delta, Ohio. When I was in Ohio, I didn't bring it to Green Bay when we moved here. So my rig's pretty nice, and I keep up on it. The number one reason computers crash is they overheat. If you clean your PC, you should be good to go.
I got an old, what I'm on right now is older. It's a what exactly is it? Hold on, I gotta light it up. I can't see the name. It's a Dell, but it's an Inspiron 1 touch. It's all screen.
Yeah,
I got 2 of these. They were given to me because the lady, I'm gonna tell you a story. This lady across the street here, before she died, she got them, and she ordered a computer. Okay. And she got it, and she said she called the company. She said, "This is the wrong computer." They're like, "Okay, keep it. We'll send you another one." And they said, "We got the right one." So they sent her another one, and it was the same exact computer. She's like, "No, this is the wrong one." She told them. So they sent her another computer that was the right one, and she didn't want these. They were brand new in the box, still taped shut and everything. So she goes, "Here, you got kids. You want them?" I'm like, "I'll take them." And they were like $2,300.
Yeah, them aren't bad computers. Mine's all custom built. I have 3 monitors in front of me. That's why I keep looking this way. You're on my right monitor. I have Google on my left monitor and Facebook and my other stuff in my front. I run a 2080 Ti video card. I have 32 gigs of RAM in it, an i7. It's a 9600 series, so it's meant for processing. If you want to process video, you want a really good processor. RAM doesn't matter. You want a good processor and a good video card, and then RAM's secondary. I have a gaming board in it. It's all liquid cooled. People are like, "Oh, liquid cooled doesn't do anything." 3 to 4 degrees cooler will help your process time when you produce a video.
I know that, and I'm not even a computer guy.
Yeah, I can produce a 1080p 30-minute video in about 12 minutes.
So how do you feel about Apple computers like the iMacs?
I tease everybody, they're Intel anyway. You're paying for, I mean, they're great, but they do have issues. If you're editing video, you can't beat Apple. Apple just is an awesome way to go. But they do have issues, and they've been known to crash where you can't get your information.
I've had it happen to me.
Yeah, they're known to do it. I have a buddy, Louis Rossman. If you guys want to look him up on YouTube, he's a friend of mine. He's in New York, and he fights for the right to repair Apple. If you guys know, you're not allowed to repair. Shops like me wasn't allowed to repair Apple. I couldn't get Apple parts. He does board level repair, where he does traces and replaces chips, and he'll have a laptop that has the backlight out on it, but he'll harvest chips off that to fix other people's stuff. And Apple is one of the worst ones to do that, because it could be a chip wrong with it, and they're saying, "Oh, the motherboard's dead," and you're going to lose your data, which you don't need to lose your data if your motherboard's dead. So Apple as a company sucks. Their product is just Intel, though. It's still an Intel board in there. So like their phones, people like go nuts about their phones, but Apple uses Samsung screens now. So
I don't like iPhones, so
I got my Note.
That's what I got, a Note. That's what I like. If you had to get a computer, what would you say? What would be a good computer to get? Because I'm going to need a new one here, and that's still,
If you can afford it, building them is a good way to go. But I mean, buying all new parts, processor is going to cost you a decent processor, $300-400. Motherboard's $200. A video card's $300-400, and that's just the start. But if you're going to go buy a one all, you can't. Dell's decent. If you want to go Dell's upper, they own Alienware. Alienware. If you're going to do edit video, buy a gaming machine. Any gaming machine with a decent video card, because they're going to be built for gaming, but it's kind of cool because it's built for video editing too. So you go to Best Buy and pick up a nice gaming rig for $800.
Yeah, that's what we got my son one for Christmas. It was like $900 or something.
Yeah.
A gaming rig is better than a regular.
Yes, especially for producing. Now, what's going to happen is if you've got a normal one and you're producing video with it all the time, your processor is going to heat up and heat up and heat up. And if you don't keep on cleaning that vent, you're going to overheat and it's going to deteriorate that processor and video card. Eventually, it's going to go out. Processors just go out when they overheat.
So, if you were going to video edit it, like do a lot of video editing, what would be a good one to get then?
I wouldn't go anything under i5. i7 more, and the faster you can, but i7. If you want to go AMD, you can. AMD's got 4000 series out, but you want to go quad core more, or 4 cores. And then you're going to want to at least get a decent video card. I wouldn't go 1050 anymore. If you go AMD, what is they got 580s, 590s would do fine. 1060 would do fine. A 1060 Ti. That'd be your gosh dang it, the I can't even think of the name brand, but you can go to MSI. They make 1060s. I believe you can get a 1060 Ti video card right now for $200.
And now, if you were to get this all in one, though, would that be through a Dell? Would you do it through a Dell?
Yeah, well, Dell makes gaming machines. You could, they actually, what do they call it? Cyber gaming. There's custom built ones at Best Buy that are just already built. You go to Newegg and buy yourself a $1,000 rig. It won't be a name brand. It'd just be in a box that, like mine's in a Roswell box. And then you'd have a certain board, and they would have it built for you already, but it's not a name brand computer. It's a built computer.
Yeah. That's like them, what is it? I see a lot of gaming computers, a lot of gaming people use iBuyPower. Is that what it is? Or
iBuyPower is like typical one, but it's just, they'll have MSI. iBuyPower use MSI a lot. Your biggest concern is if you're not going to use the features of the motherboard's not as important, as long as it can handle your processor that you want and the RAM that you want. Because there's features with a motherboard, like you can get stereo sound out of it. You can overclock with them. Certain ones you can overclock with. But with video editing, you won't need to overclock. With gaming, I game on this. I can overclock all my stuff by just clicking a button. I have profiles. I'll go normal profile. Then if I'm gaming, I go gaming. It overclocks everything.
Yeah, see, I'm not a computer geek or nothing like that. Like I consider my son one because he does a lot of gaming and stuff like that. Yep. But if I get one, it would be because I want to be able to edit videos. See.
Yep, you're just a processor. You want the biggest processor you can afford, and then you want 16 gigs of RAM minimum for anything like that. I think CyberLink requires 16. Maybe it's 8. It's 8. It's 8.
And then a hard drive, an external hard drive to back all your stuff up on.
Oh yeah, external hard drives are cheap. This is just an external case that I bought off of Amazon for $18, and I bought the 4 terabyte for $80. So for $100, you get 4 terabyte.
Yeah, that's my son. We got him one. It was $80 4 terabyte. So
yeah, they're really cheap. If you're gonna go, now there's these are mechanical. If you're gonna go like flash drive or solid state, they're smaller, but the solid state won't break down as much as these, they say, but they do. These can break down because there's a platter in there with a reader, and it just goes back and forth. That's why you hear these clicks sometimes when they're broke. They'll go click, 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 click. If you go solid state, I have solid states, but I always back up on 2. So I always have 2 hard drives for the same files. That's why I have so many. Because I did lose, I would say, 3 years of YouTube videos because I only had 1, and that hard drive is now broken, and I don't have the technology to fix it.
Oh, see, that sucks.
And it's I still have the hard drive, so just in case ever I want to send it off and spend the $700-800.
Yeah. Well, we've been going for over an hour and a half now. Is there anything you would like to tell anybody before we get off here or anything like that?
Hey, if this is cool, I'll do this anytime you want. I'm cool with it. I love doing it. Just stay positive. Keep breeding the animals that you want to breed and have fun with them.
Yeah, I like it when I have somebody on here. So I'm going to have you on again for sure.
Yeah, just let me know, man.
But I will be in touch with you about a few things that we've talked about tonight, that like with the computer stuff, because I know you seem to know what you're talking about, and your TV stuff. I want to check that out too. So I want to talk to you about some of that stuff too.
Send me a message, brother.
Yeah, and I'm glad everybody who came in, and I want to thank everybody coming in. Has anybody got any last minute questions they would like to ask before we get off or anything like that? I don't think so. So
Cool.
I think that'll be it. And I'm sorry about the interruptions.
We're good. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to thank you for coming in. I want to tell everybody that it was great to have you here. It was great to have you on. Thank you for coming on. Sorry Wally couldn't join us. He was must have been very busy today or something like that, because he talks very highly of you. So
Wally's awesome. He's a good guy.
Rose from Punka Patch asked, can she have the links to a gaming computer you said can buy with no brands, like no brand stuff like that?
Send me a message on Facebook. My name's Gary Orner. Just send me a message. I'll send you tons of links.
There you go. Did you get that, Rose? He will send you all the links you want. Just look them up on there. Gary Orner Jr. is what it is on Facebook, and you'll find him right away. So, well, thank you for coming in. Next time we'll talk about more of the
anything you want.
Anything we want. Yes, because I wanted to talk to you about some of your monitors and stuff like that, but it's getting kind of late, and I know my wife's going to want to go to bed here. So it was great.
No worries, man. All right, man. Thank you. All
right. Rose, how do you contact him? It's on Facebook, and it's Gary Orner Jr. right on Facebook. And after this, I'm going to put a link to his videos for his YouTube channel in the description below. Please check it out. And thanks everybody for coming in. Peace.
All right, thanks.